Hey everybody, and welcome to another Cricut craft tutorial. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Today we're going to talk about paper flowers, and I'm going to show you guys how to assemble paper flower template number 2 from my Etsy store. This is a really fun puffy flower with 4 layers of petals, and it's very, very easy to do once you do it. So let's go over to Design Space, and I'll show you guys how you load in your SVG. Once you're over into Design Space, you're going to need to upload the template from what you've downloaded off of the Etsy store. So you will need to unzip, but I've already done that, and I do show you how to do that in a couple of my other videos. So we're going to upload and click Browse and find the template that we're looking for, which is right here. We're looking for Flower Template 2, and you'll notice that it has a Chrome logo here. Some of yours will have Internet Explorer, Firefox, whatever browser you're using, and some might even have the Inkscape logo. It just depends on your computer. But that's the one that you want to use. So we're going to go ahead and save it, and we'll go ahead and insert our images. Now one thing is you want to make sure that you size it all together. So you want to make it the size you want it with using every piece. You don't want to accidentally size something by itself, because they're all sized so that they all fit together, which is really easy and nice to work with, and it just makes it a little bit more structured. If you size something away from the other ones, you're going to end up with something that's not going to fit with everything else, and we don't want that to happen. So with this one, you need 8 petals, so we're going to ungroup, and I'm going to move these little dudes off to the side, and then I'm just going to move these little guys all together a little bit closer just to make it easier to grab all of them. And we're going to duplicate this several times, so we're going to duplicate it 7 times. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I'm going to move these again out of the way, and I'm just going to make this all attached really quickly so that they'll all change the same color without me having to do anything. I won't have to go through and individually change their color. It's just a quick little tip, and then you're just going to detach them. That way they will cut in a way that is a little bit easier for you guys to save some paper. And then we want to make sure that our centerpiece, which is our circle, is the same color as our petals, and then this guy just needs to be a different color. We're going to click on Make It, and you can leave this one, the center, just on a 12 by 12. But with these ones, we're going to make these on an 8.5 by 11. So you'll just want to tell your machine that you're using 8.5 by 11 paper, and then it will cut it down. It will fit as many as it can on your 8.5 by 11. We'll go ahead and click Continue, and I'm not going to make you guys watch it cut because it's just cutting paper. You've seen it a billion times, but we're just going to let you see real quick. So I always set mine on light cardstock, 60 pound. I find that the 60 pound Recollections from Michaels that come in the pack of 50 work really, really well for these. They are solid core, and they're easy to work with because they roll really well. So let me get them all cut out, and then we can show you guys how to fold them and assemble them. So now that we've cut them, I have separated them into each of their individual sizes, and I do that just so that they don't get mixed up, because sometimes they can look very, very similar in size. It's just a quick little tip just to keep yourself more organized and to make sure that you don't mix up your sizes so that when you put them on your base, it's a lot easier. So what we're going to do with these is we're going to take our bone folder, and if you don't have a bone folder, which you can get at any craft store, Amazon, they're pretty cheap. You can use a butter knife or pencil, anything round, a straw will work just fine, but the bone folder just makes it a little easier. So what you're going to do is just fold each of your sides. So you're just going to roll it like you would ribbon almost, and you're just going to roll both your sides so you have kind of a U shape. You see how that's kind of like a potato chip. That's what I think of when I do this, is a potato chip. And you're going to do that to each and every one of your petals. I always will do just one size at a time. I typically start with the smallest size. I have no idea why. I just do. And then I put them up to the side once they've been curled all in a pile so that they don't get mixed up. But you can see this honestly is the most labor-intensive part of the flower making process is doing all of your petals and rolling them so that they all look nice and natural. Now keep in mind, it's nature and we want them to look like a real flower to a point, so you don't have to have them all exact. So you can just sort of guesstimate if you like how folded and rolled it is. You don't have to do anything crazy. They don't all have to be identical. You can fold one more than you folded another one. But you do want to make sure that they do get somewhat curled. Otherwise, they'll just lay flat and they look kind of boring, and you want them to look more 3D and natural. So I'm going to get done doing all of these, and when we come back, I'm going to show you guys how we assemble our flower. We are ready to assemble our flower, so we always start with our largest petal first, which is this guy. So what we're going to do is you want to make sure that your fold is in so that the U part is up, so that it goes like that. So you don't want it to go this direction. You want it to be upwards. So what you're going to do is on the flat part is put just a little bit of glue. It does not take much. And you're just going to put this about, I usually say about 1/4 inch, but it might be closer to 1/2 inch in on your circle. And you're going to do that with each and every one of your petals, and you do have 8. So you're going to overlap them just a little bit. And I do find with this one, my circle ends up being kind of weird at the end, but it's fine because nobody's going to notice. You just want to make sure that you're overlapping them a fairly even amount, and that you are angling them a fairly even amount as well, and that you're, so it sounds like a lot of things, and that you're doing your folds so that they are facing up to make more of a cup shape. There are quite a few things to remember when making these, but honestly, once you start doing them and you do more of them, you will find that you are able to do them without a whole lot of like thought. I don't want to say thought, but that's kind of what it is. You can kind of just go and do them. And I do find occasionally I run out of room, so this may end up with only 7 petals, but that's okay. Sometimes it's just the nature of it, but that's, you know, that's flowers for you. So we're just going to end up with 7 petals on this guy, and that's totally okay. So we'll just get him in the center here. When I've made these before, I've done anywhere from 6 to 8 petals. It's kind of a personal preference, but we're going to do this one with 7. I actually kind of like it better with an uneven number. So we're going to do, once you are done with your first layer, you're going to take your second layer, so one of your medium petals, and you are going to lay them down so that they are right in between your big petals. So you're just going to even them up so they lay in between your petals. So just like this. And you're going to do this all the way around. And again, we're going to end up with 7 instead of 8. So my bad on that one, but it's okay because these are really, you could do these any way you wanted. Honestly, if you wanted to make more petals and do like 12 or 10, you can do that. You just need to make the center part bigger. But you just go all the way around, putting one of these in between each of your biggest petals. And you just want to make sure that you are kind of making them about the same distance from the tips of their petals to the tips of the larger petals. And we have an extra one, so we'll just toss that guy to the side. Sorry, this guy's on a piece of paper and keeps sliding around. But I want to get this done and show you guys how easy these are, because they really are. A lot of people seem to be intimidated by these paper flowers, and you shouldn't be. They're super easy. They're super fun to do. So now we're going to take our second to smallest, and we're going to do the same thing, just a little bit of glue. And this one we're going to even them in between the second to largest petals. So you're going to do that all the way around, and we're going to just make sure, again, that they're about the same distance tip to tip as the other ones. And you're going to start feeling that they're going to stick up a little bit, and that's totally okay. They're going to start sitting at more of an angle like this versus sit flat down, and that's because we have all those folds. And I apologize, my kitten is up here, and I don't even want to know what she just knocked off. She's being very bad. She's probably going to end up jumping up here at some point and getting involved in this video, and I will not appreciate that with the hot milk glue gun. But she's cute, so we let it slide. But as you can see, this goes really, really quickly once you kind of got it started. And we have one more of these littleish I would call these second to smallest petals to go. Call him like petal 3. So there is what we have so far. You can see it's nice and puffy. It's really pretty in this kind of orangey yellow color. It kind of reminds me of a marigold. Again, these are just shapes. I don't know that they really have, I've never really thought about it, I guess, when I've done these, if they actually have like a flower that they match. So now, when you go to your smallest petals, you are going to feel them sit up a lot more. And that's okay, because again, we're going to want that middle to sit up a little bit. And you're just going to do the exact same thing that you've been doing, where you're putting them, ooh, that guy did not stick. Let's take him out. You are going to be putting them in between the second to smallest petals. I'm going to redo this guy because for some reason I must not have pressed down hard enough. And that's just proof like not everyone is perfect and mistakes happen, and you just kind of move on and go with it. So these ones are going to overlap a lot more than the other ones, and that's totally okay. And you could actually do this with just 3 layers, just 2 layers. I don't know why this guy does not want to stay down, but he is just being a brat. So hopefully he'll be held down by the rest of these petals. So we're just going to keep going around, and again, you want to make sure that you are putting them in between the petals of the layer before them so that it's nice and even and full. We've got 2 more to go. So 1. And I'm going to make sure to press that one down really well because for some reason these ones are just not wanting to stay stuck. And the last little petal, and we're going to just make sure we get these really pressed down because they're not wanting to stick. Alright, so now you can see that it's kind of more of a taller flower than the first one, than one of the other ones we did, than template 1. So this one's definitely a puffier flower. It's really pretty, but we're going to do the center now, which this center is really cute. It has little hearts on it. So we're just going to take, again, a little tiny dab of glue, not much, because you don't want to burn yourself, and you're just going to flip it upside so that the gold part is up, and you're just going to tuck it right in there and just gently press it down. And now you will see, look at how pretty that is. It just adds that little extra pop, and you can see how nice and full the flower is. Now you'll want to wait till it dries and you can pull off some of these little strings if you have any hot melt glue strings. But this was a really easy flower to put together. And again, you can do 8, you can do 7, you can do 6 petals. It just depends on how close you want to put them on your circle. This one is really fun to play with. You can do lots of different colors. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. Again, this guy can be found on my Etsy store. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. I put out new videos on Wednesdays and Saturdays. I hope you guys had a wonderful time learning how to make a paper flower. Have a great day and happy crafting!